Nedbank Namibia celebrates 45 years of existence in 2018. It is a journey of vast leaps, perseverance, overcoming challenges, and adapting to an ever-changing world around us. Behind our notable brand that evolved over time was and still is a formidable team who believed and continues to believe in our role within the Namibian context. Our story began as the Bank of Southwest Africa, widely known as Bank, incorporated on 1 April 1973. This was a bold step initiated by a few local entrepreneurs who co-founded the bank. Later that year, on 1 July, the first branch of the bank opened its doors for business in Windhoek, along with the branch in Johannesburg, South Africa. A mere 3 months later, the Keetmanshoek branch was opened on 1 October 1973. With Honorable J.G.H. van der Walt as the first chairperson of the board of directors and Piet Botha as the first managing director, Bank took a giant leap to serve the national interests of Namibians, reflected in our first slogan. But the beginning was not without challenge. The bank had to find its feet in an industry dominated by Barclays Bank, now First National Bank, and Standard Bank in the country, and was also given a cold shoulder by the South African press, with doom prophecies and harsh criticism. It was also a tumultuous time on Namibia's political front. The Southwest African People's Organization, SWAPO, attained observer status from the United Nations in 1973, further straining relations with South Africa. But in spite of our adversities, the mid-70s saw Bank recognized as a leader in the league among 5 smaller banks in South Africa and Southwest Africa. The bank's assets had in the meantime grown by 45% and savings deposits by 75%. We strengthened our footing in the Namibian banking sector and in 1976 purchased the building in Frans Ndongo Street. Today, it is still the head office and houses our main branch. The Swakopmund branch forms part of the early history of Nedbank and opened its doors in 1977. By December 1980, Dresdner Bank AG, one of Germany's largest banking corporations, acquired a leading share in Bank. Over the next decade, Bank grew from strength to strength. Against the age of television that commenced in the 1980s, the bank involved itself in a broad spectrum of public life and increased social involvement through school and sports sponsorships and significant contributions to the fine and performing arts. In addition, we committed to support sustainable income-generating opportunities in the informal sector and avail generous funding for bursaries. By 1982, the bank issued our first check accounts and started dealing in foreign exchange. With the advent of independence in 1990, Bank changed our name to the Bank of Namibia Limited, but ceded the name to the new Central Bank of Namibia a few months later. We then became known as the Commercial Bank of Namibia. By this time, 45,000 Namibians returned from exile to participate in the first free elections in the country. The South African forces withdrew from Namibia in terms of Resolution 435 under increased international pressure, and the country became a sovereign state on 21 March 1990. As Namibia became part of numerous international bodies after its independence, like the United Nations Organization, the World Bank, the Organization of African Unity, and the International Monetary Fund, the Commercial Bank of Namibia played an instrumental role in the founding process of the Namibian Stock Exchange. The bank too played an active part in bashing rumors and fears about possible currency collapse when the new Namibian currency was introduced. We partnered with the Bank of Namibia and convened a workshop to address these false perceptions. In 1992, the bank sold our South African subsidiary to SFOM, a leader in the world banking sector based in Europe. In 1993, The Commercial Bank of Namibia and the Namibian Banking Corporation, affiliated to Nedbank, merged. In the following years, the bank's management had to steer strategically through challenging economic times. A rising unemployment and HIV/AIDS rate locally, along with a serious drought during the first years of the 90s, threatened the Namibian economy. But the bank took proactive measures in remaining current, prioritizing the needs of our customers and introducing new services in a changing banking and financial environment. Our slogan, "We're not about size, we're about service," confirmed our commitment to superior service delivery. Banking halls were made more user-friendly and services were streamlined for customers to have a hassle-free banking experience. We continued to introduce flexible and custom-made banking products, placing the Commercial Bank of Namibia on par with international standards. In 1996, the first telephonic service hotline in the banking industry, Service Plus, was introduced by the Commercial Bank of Namibia, leading in a new era in relationship banking. By 1997, we held assets of over 1.5 billion Namibian dollars and an annual profit of 17.2 million Namibian dollars, a far cry from the bank's first profit of 12,000 Namibian dollars in 1973. As the year 2000 approached, the world was panic-stricken that the entire technological infrastructure of the globe may collapse. The bank believed that banking in the 21st century would be founded on service, and that technology provided the platform to offer that service, along with developing the products that customers need. Through upgrading our infrastructure and adapting our business practices, we drastically increased the success of our electronic banking service. The end of the 90s were marked by the emerging markets crisis, which in turn affected currencies, interest rates, stock markets, and commodity prices negatively, sending many countries in Asia, South America, and Africa into recession. In Southern Africa, banks were able to withstand this turmoil. But with challenges of uncontrollable external factors such as the weather, oceanic conditions, and commodity prices, Namibia's economy faced an uphill battle. For Commercial Bank of Namibia, our success in the market, in spite of difficult times, was a result of our consistent improvement in profitability. By the end of the year 2000, we had exceeded our targets, made significant progress towards our goals, and weathered much internal and external change. By now, we had 7 branches in the central, coastal, and northern regions of the country. It positioned us as a proud banking institution, ready to take on the 21st century. In 2001, favorable growth in Namibia was compromised by a weakening in the international economy. The world's largest economy, the United States, slipped into recession. The dramatic 9/11 event further threatened the US and world economy. Europe experienced subdued growth and the first synchronized downturn in industrialized countries since the 1970s was experienced. Africa also suffered, and Namibia couldn't escape the millennium slump. Against this background, the Commercial Bank of Namibia focused on service, improving the quality of our people, and getting quality business onto our books. With our international stakeholders, we were uniquely positioned in the Namibian market. In 2001, we also launched our Go Green Fund and products, a definite highlight of the year. This range, with 5 flexible home loan options, was a first in Namibia, both in choices available to the local Namibian market and in its conservation focus. Through this product range, our Nedbank clients had the opportunity to do good while taking out a home loan with us. A set amount of profits from any home loan purchase is committed to the Go Green Fund, which in turn is used to fund conservation projects. The world economy took a turn for the better after 2003, and by 2004, the Commercial Bank of Namibia embraced yet another change. On 1 January 2004, the first Namibian Mr. Martin Shipanga was appointed to head the bank. And on 1 October 2004, Commercial Bank of Namibia was rebranded Nedbank Namibia after Nedbank Limited acquired the holdings of European stakeholders in Commercial Bank. Nedbank Limited's shareholding increased to 93.46%, and all its operations in Namibia were consolidated under a single holding company, Ned Namibia Holdings. A further highlight was the conclusion of an agreement with Old Mutual Namibia for closer cooperation between the groups, paving the way for cross-selling opportunities. Between 2005 and 2010, Nedbank Namibia continued our steady growth. Our new group slogan was introduced, "Make Things Happen." We transitioned into an enhanced technology platform and successfully implemented the global system to ensure that we complied with the Bank of Namibia's national payment system requirements. In 2006, the bank also announced our Black Economic Empowerment transaction, in which a broad range of Black shareholders acquired direct ownership of 12.64% in the bank. The introduction of new products and services, along with the opening of more branches in the country, furthered a favorable climate for the bank for the next few years. Over the last decade, we all experienced significant change at a faster pace on cultural, political, and socio-economic and environmental fronts. The increase in the world population, migration to cities, and the age of technology impacted the world, Africa, and Namibia. Global warming, unexpected shifts in political power, the global economic crunch, rise in terror, the threat of a possible nuclear war, the European migrant crisis, and changes in social behavior all largely contribute to the volatile state of the world today. Africa's status has also changed. It is no longer considered the dark continent, and challenges to access funding saw SMEs and entrepreneurship emerging as the backbone of the African economy. The continent's financial sector has also rapidly grown through the financial inclusion of low-income households and unbanked sectors. Over the past 10 years, the Namibian financial sector made significant progress with innovative concepts. Internet banking and point-of-sale services were introduced, while existing product offerings to customers were upgraded. Mobile banking was introduced to reach the unbanked in urban and remote corners of the country. The banking sector is set on focusing on the development of innovative products and services and providing these in an affordable, safe, and reliable manner to suit Namibian needs. To keep up with the rate of change and customer needs, Nedbank underwent a major technology change in 2015. This paved the way for the introduction of new channels, products, and services, which we started rolling out in 2016 and 2017. However, Nedbank Namibia still carried with it legacy perceptions of being an elitist bank, only serving the needs of the business community and a small group of elite Namibians. This required a critical revision of the Nedbank Namibia brand. Nedbank South Africa had similar ambitions for the overall Nedbank brand, and Nedbank changed our core principle from "make things happen" to "see money differently." We adopted a more African and inclusive brand, ideal for Nedbank Namibia. When we launched this in 2017, we caught the attention of Namibians from all walks of life, setting the stage for the next phase in Nedbank's history. Today, with a staff complement of over 730 branches nationwide, we're looking back on an accomplished 45 years behind us. Let's embrace the next 45 years and see money differently.